So Monday, the 20th of January 2025, Lewis Hamilton steps a foot in Ferrari homeland, in Ferrari territory as his first day for the Scuderia. Scuderia? I'm so sorry. I'm absolutely terrible with pronunciations. But speaking of Lewis Hamilton, I mean, just have a look at this. This is Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, around his first days at McLaren, looking very young. Still quite young. Very different hair, different haircuts to now, these two. Lewis's debut with Mercedes. And there we go. Today, the day of recording, Lewis Hamilton, a much more mature and experienced Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time Lewis Hamilton champion. Let's remember, at Mercedes, despite all of his victories and poles, he'd only actually won one championship with McLaren in 2008. When he started with Mercedes, little did we know, after 2013, he'd pretty much be the dominant force until Max Verstappen's reign began in 2021. But here we go. Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari, looking absolutely dapper. Now, this is a video. Links in the description here of Estar. I'm not even going to try, but Estar Giradio F1. But this is Lewis Hamilton arriving at Maranello. You can hear all the Lewis Hamilton cheers. I mean, they're all waiting for him. He is looking, himself. I think he coaches up. He signs a few autographs for the fans and selfies, etc. He's not even been testing yet. We believe this is potentially going to be his first day in the simulator, but there he is, signing away. I mean, look at that. To be able to get some of the first Lewis Hamilton merchandise, or Ferrari caps at least, signed is definitely something else entirely. This I thought was quite interesting. This is Emerson Fittipaldi on Lewis Hamilton. He said Ferrari's coming back strong. Can you imagine Lewis at Ferrari? The whole of Italy is going to stop on Sunday to watch Lewis drive a Ferrari, and that's Emerson Fittipaldi commenting on Lewis's debut with the red team, or the scarlet team, if you will. And yeah, I think he's right. It's the biggest move in Formula One for a generation. Bigger, I think, than, for example, when Michael Schumacher left Benetton as a 2-time champion, going to Ferrari. Because Lewis goes to Ferrari, statistically at least, in the argument of the greatest of all time in terms of race wins. Obviously equal with the great Michael Schumacher for those 7 world titles. And these are... Let's try and... I'm not having any luck there, am I? Okay. These are some of the photos of Lewis's, on his first day, his first official day, I guess, at Ferrari. And meeting some of the fans, speaking to him. I mean, yeah. Imagine that. I imagine, to be fair, it did look quite overcast, rainy out there. So these are the hardcore of the hardcore fans wanting, obviously, is that a Mercedes there? Yeah, that is clearly a Mercedes there. Wanting Lewis to sign stuff. We've got selfies there. There he is again, signing things. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And, yeah. Everyone's really looking. Yep, there's that Mercedes. Everyone, including us, is very much looking forward to this. But let's talk about the story then. So Lewis Hamilton, as we know, he's set to make his Ferrari track debut, at the very least, on the 22nd of January at the Fiorano circuit. Now, he's rumoured to be driving the car from the 2022 season, otherwise known as the F1 75 car. He's joined Charles Leclerc at the Scuderia for the upcoming campaign after spending 12 years at Mercedes. And if you remember, it's not only those 12 years, but Lewis Hamilton has spent all his career, all his Formula One career, being powered by Mercedes. So he's going to have to get acquainted to his very much new squad, new engine, new people, new car, etc., new boss, in the guise of Frederick Vassar, whom he knows Well, because he took back-to-back titles for the Frenchman's ASM and Art outfit in the F1 Euro Series and later on in GP2 as well, winning in 2006, becoming the GP2, which is now the F2 champion, as well as Ferrari president CEO Benedetto, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but vice chairman Piero Ferrari, Benedetto Vigna. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Italians. Now, the Briton also met his new race engineer as well today, Riccardo Adami, who previously worked there with Carlos Sainz. And didn't Carlos Sainz have a very good and solid 2024 season? Now, Hamilton's new seat was prepared ahead of the upcoming running, and the Briton made sure the adjustment that he'd requested, already getting familiar, but he requested on the steering wheel, had been carried out. He then had a first run on the simulator to get accustomed to his new environment. We don't know how that went, but further work is planned, was planned later on that day after he arrived, and tomorrow, with what Ferrari describes as basically saying more technical meetings and briefings in order to make Hamilton ready for what's going to be his first test on Wednesday, the 22nd of January. There are some days that you'll remember forever, and today, my first as a Ferrari driver, is one of those days. That's what Hamilton posted on social media. He said, I've been lucky enough to have achieved things in my career I never thought possible, but part of me has always held on to that dream of racing in red. I couldn't be happier to realise that dream today. He carried on by saying, today we start a new era in the history of this iconic team, and I can't wait to see what story we will write together. Now, we've got high-profile signings debuted, has enthused the Tifosi. It has infused Italy, and we did a bit of video not too long ago about Hamilton Mania. It absolutely has. And on Wednesday, Hamilton is going to share the track with his new teammate Charles Leclerc ahead of what's going to be more testing at Barcelona later this month. That's the Circuit de Catalunya, with those plans though of what's happening there yet really to be confirmed. However, Ferrari intends to use up its yearly 1,000 kilometres of testing of previous cars allowed by F1's sporting regulations for current race drivers in 2025. They're benefiting of this new high. They're going to be using up that 1,000 kilometres worth of testing. So, Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari, how is he going to do? I mean, for me, the big thing about Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari is, has he exorcised the demons from Mercedes? That's going to be the big question. Now, when I say that, everyone's talking about his qualifying to George Russell. In terms of race pace, I think overall in the season, when you look at his race pace, he was still faster than George Russell. Had he, for example, started near the front in Las Vegas, I think he would have beaten George Russell. Belgium, he obviously won the Belgian Grand Prix, but he had the because George Russell obviously was a slightly lighter car. And Hamilton said himself, had he known it was going to be a one-stop, he would have quite happily done it, and I'm sure he would have won that too. But in the races, Lewis Hamilton, faster than George Russell. The big test is going to be Charles Leclerc. I think Charles Leclerc will out-qualify Lewis throughout the year, absolutely, but it's going to be those races. So if Lewis can up his qualifying, be more comfortable with the car, then I think Charles Leclerc could be in trouble. Even if he out-qualifies him, I think Lewis, once he gets used to that Ferrari, may well be beating Charles Leclerc in the race. But the big but is, can he get used to that Ferrari? Can he get comfortable with that Ferrari? As we know, the rear end of the Mercedes gave Lewis a lot of trouble. Now, Lewis is one of those drivers who loves the brakes. He loves his late braking. He can get the car stopped, still get it in that corner. Amazing talent, and then obviously drive out that corner. But with these new ground effect rules and the way the Mercedes was designed, made it really difficult to take advantage of one thing that Lewis Hamilton is arguably better than a lot of the grid, and that is braking into those corners. And he couldn't really take advantage of that. And the other thing you always hear was about the rear. It was unstable. So when you're in a corner, it's almost like, oh, how much power do I put down? How fast can I go in this corner? And when you're second guessing yourself, like I'm sure Lewis Hamilton and to a certain extent George Russell was, particularly in qualifying when the car is absolutely maxed out, when you are, when you need almost 110% at times. Lewis just didn't have the confidence, and that's going to be the big thing for Ferrari. So, if you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That would be amazing. But just clicking on this video and listening or watching is more than enough for us. But if you want to do that bit extra, give us a like as well. That'd be great. Comment below. Let us know about how you feel Hamilton will fare at Ferrari. But until then, stay tuned, stay safe, and thank you very much.